everybody. Kia ora.
Kia ora.
Welcome to the House of Chaos.
With pew pew.
Pew, pew, pew.
Pew pew. We did pew pews last time.
We did do pew pews last time, but you're also listening to
Izzy Renton
and Rebecca Mary Gwendolyn.
Yeah, this is your emotional support politics podcast.
Heck yeah, we're here to guide you through the murky waters of what's happening in Aotearoa with a friend at your side.
With a friend at your side, and with a giggle, and with a warm cup of whatever your preference is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Mine's a bit tepid now. But...
Yeah, mine's also tepid, but that's all right. Yeah.
We wouldn't want to burn our tongues on the hot news.
That's why I always look up the news at least a few days after it's happened, once it's cooled down a little bit.
You've got to give it some time out the oven, you know?
You do. I actually did a scene in an improv show last weekend that was we just did yesterday's news, and it was everyone's like favorite scene of the night. I was like, I didn't realize how much people like the news.
Yeah, well, there
People
we
love
go.
the news.
It's a growing market, famously.
Extra, read all about it. We can tell you the stuff that's going on.
Yeah, Citizen Kane was onto something.
I don't know. I don't think that movie's really going to have that much clout long term.
Today we're going to be talking about the New Zealand First Conference.
We are.
And we're also going to be talking about all the naughtiness in the beehive.
Shocking behaviour this week.
Really earning its nom de clom. Is that what you say?
Nom de clom?
You know when you give something like a nickname?
Like a nom de plume? Like a... Is that what you mean?
I don't know what I mean. I'm pretty sure there's another one that's not nom de plom.
We are French scholars.
Yeah, as you can tell. As you can tell.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's really living up to its nickname, the House of Chaos.
The House of Chaos.
Yeah.
I love nom de clom. I think that's really going to catch on.
It is now, yeah.
Yeah, so we're going to do that. We've got some headlines. We've got a bit of good news at the end.
Yeah, we have.
We like to end on a positive note.
We do. We do. And before we get to the New Zealand stuff, I think we should talk about some American politicians trying their hand at some comedy.
As if they could ever measure up.
Yeah, it turns out it's not so easy.
Yeah, you try it. Oh, you did, and you did badly.
You did badly. Yeah, if anyone's not aware, Donald Trump was doing the
White House Correspondents'
Dinner, and he had to do funny jokes, and he did unfunny jokes.
He did so badly. He bombed so hard.
So hard. Nobody was, at least the clips I've seen, no one
Nobody's
was laughing. And like the shots of the audience are just like, and actually Jon Stewart did a really funny thing where he compared the shots of the audience between the previous Correspondents' Dinner that got interrupted by a shooter.
Oh God, yes, that's right.
Yes, and Donald Trump's bomb, and the pictures of the audience after the shooter had been captured were much jollier and interacting and chatting with each other than everybody after Donald Trump had basically bombed, and they were just like, this was the most awkward thing I've been to. And last time someone tried to kill us all.
Someone tried to kill us. Bring that guy back.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Give him a plastic gun. Now it's a show.
Now it's
a show.
Yeah, put some water in it.
It's
Maybe some
interactive
vodka.
dinner theatre. Vodka. Let's
Yeah.
get those clowns who pretend to like hold everyone hostage.
Let's get those guys. And then it's funny.
Wait, that's just the Joker. I was like, what if a clown did crime? And the good people at DC Comics have been asking that question for many years now.
As per you were demonstrating your far superior knowledge of graphic novels and the DC/Marvel world to me.
Thank you. It's early in the podcast today.
Yeah,
I've switched over to DC. My God.
Yeah. Oh, you traitor.
I know, such a traitor. I'm so sorry, Iron Man. I apologize for what I've done. I should never have acknowledged the Joker's existence.
Yeah, you can't say his name in a Marvel universe.
No, you can't. No one has ever done a joke in the Marvel universe. It is the funniest thing in a superhero movie, how it's like, this movie costs millions and millions of dollars, and they've spent so long on it. Hundreds of people have built these explosions and all of this. And in the movie, they've put 3 jokes in it. And there is so much pressure on these 3 jokes to be funny because they need them for the trailer so badly that just the whole script around the joke is being like, joke coming. And then immediately after the joke, it'll be like, that bit was funny. This is not a good environment to make good comedy happen.
Oh my God. I'm now imagining like who the joke writers for Marvel and DC are, and like just how like under pressure they are the whole time. Like, we've only got 3 shots at this and they gotta land.
We gotta land. We gotta use these jokes to make back the $300 million we spent.
Yeah. They could have dealt with the pressure of writing for Donald Trump.
They could have. They should have got those guys in.
Also, that was the other funny thing, is throughout the speech he just kept on being like, yeah, who wrote this? That's no good. And it's like, it's probably okay, but your delivery is terrible.
It's really funny.
I know.
It's also like, I feel like sometimes people are keeping up the illusion that the speech they're reading is something that they want to say. Like, you don't always acknowledge and blame the speech writer so directly.
Yeah. Very funny.
I remember being shocked as a child when I realized that speech writer was a separate job.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, at school, I have to write and present my own speech.
Yeah.
This is shocking.
That they're just getting a free pass, essentially.
I know.
Yeah, it is shocking.
It is.
I also like, it makes you realize, especially in the US with the president, where it's like they've got speech writers, they've obviously got policy people. It's like, so what are you actually bringing to the table?
Yeah.
What are you actually bringing to the table? Just like, this is the dummy we're voting for. And then other people's words come out.
Yeah. It is a lot like a movie, I guess, right? There's hundreds of people making a movie, actually making it. And then the actors, they're just kind of in there at the end saying the words. And doing the moves.
Yeah, and then getting edited around.
Yeah. And then, but it's like on them to sell it.
Yeah.
It's like Donald Trump is like the face of it.
He's the Brad Pitt.
He's the Brad Pitt. Current references.
I don't know why it was Brad Pitt that popped to mind.
I guess if you're thinking of...
Was he in the Odyssey, Brad Pitt?
No.
God, I feel like there's so many people in that film. If you didn't make it in, that's, pretty tragic.
Wow, you weren't even good enough to be in the Odyssey. Oh, awkward. Matt Damon.
He's in it.
He's in it. I feel bad now if Brad Pitt is in it. Brad Pitt is in that old movie of like Troy.
Yeah. Troy. Yes,
Yeah.
Troy.
It's not that old. I guess it's like 20 years old actually.
Yeah, it's early 2000s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was only paying attention to the parts with Orlando Bloom.
I can't remember any of it. No. I watched it. I can't remember any of it.
It's not great. Hey, you know what else is not all great? The news.
God, for a minute, I forgot what we were here for. Well, I guess that means it's time for some
Quickfire news!
The temperature in Parliament has been heating up as politicians start slinging derogatory mud at each other. Shane Jones accuses New Zealand MPs of getting out their knee pads for Indian President Modi, making us realise where Winston gets that glint in his eyes.
New Zealand First candidate Stuart Nash accuses his opponent in Napier of being lazy for taking maternity leave, proving to everyone else that though he may have 4 children, someone's been a lazy dad.
Definitely. And not wanting to be outdone, Winston Peters tells Green Party MP Lawrence Junan to go back home. So if you need him, you'll find him in the Koru Lounge waiting for his flight back to Auckland.
National has ruled out working with the Opportunity Party. Luxon says, they're as centrist as I'm an All Black. which will really disappoint fans who were hoping he would move into sport if he loses the election.
Russian authorities claim to have apprehended a New Zealand spy. There's been a lot of discussions about it in the media this week, but no one from TVNZ has confirmed or denied whether this is a publicity stunt to promote the next season of New Zealand Spy.
They have confirmed it was not Paul Williams. That was today. From November, job seeker benefits are being cut for 18 to 19-year-olds whose parents earn more than $65,000 a year, including those with disability or health conditions. New Zealand child poverty has also risen from 10 to 13%, which I'm really just getting the sense that this government does not listen to Whitney Houston. Mm-mm. They do not believe that children are the future.
No, they're the past.
They're the past.
Because they're dead.
Oh, God.
Oh, dear.
God.
And Paul Henry plays Shoot, Shag, Marry on Radio Horaki, which not everyone approves of. He chose to marry Luxon, but sleep with Winston Peters, just like our coalition government where Luxon gets the blame and Winston gets the action.
And that's the Quickfire News.
That's what it is. New Zealand First parties, they didn't have a conference, they had a convention.
They did. They had a convention. At the Dewdrop Stadium.
Do you know what? Number one rule of being a political party, call your meeting something different to the other political parties just so people are sure that you're different.
Yes. It has to start with a C.
Yeah, must start with a C.
Yeah, it has to be a conference, a convention, a congress.
A congress. Although actually, the Greens annual general meeting.
Ironically, this is the most businessy.
Yeah. Very sort of, procedural.
Procedural,
and descriptive.
Yeah.
This is the general meeting that we have annually.
Maybe they're just like, we're not going to put any faff on it.
Yeah. Or it's just going to be business as usual.
Yeah.
Rather than this convention stuff. Convention sounds like people are shagging in the lifts.
Oh, it definitely does.
Yeah.
You could buy a ticket for it, so any random could just go.
Oh, we should have gone, Rebecca. We should have gone.
Once the podcast is making enough money that we can each afford $280 or something that it was like to attend.
Was it about $280?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Because when I was trying to find information, the first link was to attend, to buy a ticket.
Oh, yeah.
So it sounds like we would have had a great time.
Oh, we would have had a great time,
Yeah.
So the sort of overarching pledge from Winston was to turn this country's democracy upside down for a great and real purpose. What that purpose is? Unclear.
Yeah.
Well, they say that really what they're doing is standing up for the hard-working blue-collar battler. That's I feel like all of them have sort of listed their, the people that they're representing.
They have. I remember a few episodes ago when we were talking about the other ones. Everybody has been listing like these are the types of people that we want to vote for us.
That we want to stand for.
And
exactly.
It's the blue collar battlers.
The blue collar battlers.
Yeah.
And if you don't count yourself in that, get out of here.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
I saw quite a disturbing photo of just all of them with like all the guys with the little flags. The little New Zealand, just like lots of people with little New Zealand flags. They're really pushing nationalism.
Yeah, they are really pushing nationalism.
Yeah.
And Shane Jones was saying his sort of line that came out was like, "It's not racist to look after our own," essentially.
Yes.
Which is something that really frustrates me about the looking after one's own comment, because it makes it seem like every other party is just out there being like, oh, we're making policy for people in a completely different country. And it's like, no, I think it's generally accepted that governments in a country primarily make policy for the people in their country.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's not like anybody is out there trying to make policy for Ireland.
Not even in Ireland.
Not even in Ireland.
No.
yeah, they went through a few things. It was actually quite like a long and detailed speech, I would say, from Winston Peters. Went and had a look at it. He started out with a lot of stuff about international relations, and about how we're living in a complex and unsettled global world, and you need someone with experience at the helm.
Someone who would never do stuff like insult New Zealand's biggest trading partners on a whim and attract the ire of the Chinese ambassador, just as a crazy example.
As Luxon said, they're always having spats with each other. That's
just actually really funny that he said that. Yeah, just like, oh, those two kids are always fighting in the corner.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Don't think too much of it.
Don't think. If when they start fighting with someone else, then we'll get involved.
Get involved.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of stuff, which is funny for somebody who's sort of seen as populist, that it's like this very kind of, there's quite like an institutional line of like, oh yeah, we need sort of somebody who knows what they're doing with experience and everything, and basically like expertise.
Yeah.
And you know, that's not usually what we associate with populism, which is kind of like often has a strain of anti-expertise and just like the will of the people, when actually Winston's like, no, you need to listen to my international prowess. That was the other thing, actually.
Yeah.
Is apparently at the convention, he told everybody to zip their mouths and not speak to the media and just let the leader cover it all.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's quite spooky.
Quite dictatorial.
Yeah, I was going to say, is he taking a little stroll along the boardwalk of fascism?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Well, I think he's also just like, hey, look, none of you guys get fancy ideas about this being an actual party. This is how I get the foreign minister role each year. This is my novelty party. Don't pretend like we're a group of people coming together to solve political issues. You guys are my chariot. I'm the king.
Yeah, there's only room for one person on this chariot.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You can pull at the front.
Yeah. Oh, man. So they did do... they were talking about some of his like previous wins.
Yes, they were. He went through loads of stuff that he was like, yeah, we've done this and we've done this. And
I guess 40 years you can achieve a lot.
Yeah, whilst also trying to claim that the government hasn't achieved anything.
Yes.
In the same breath. Yeah. No, the first one he was saying was that he raised the minimum wage in 2005 and 2017. Which is interesting because obviously 2017 was with the Labour government.
Yeah.
And since he's been in coalition with National and ACT, the minimum wage has not kept track with inflation.
Yes.
So actually everybody has had a pay decrease each year.
Yeah.
Which makes you kind of think, well, in this case, Winston, maybe raising the minimum wage in an effective way was more to do with Labour than it was to do with you.
Yeah.
Because if you really cared about it, you could have done it in the last 3 years.
I guess that's what you get, like a boon of being like a flip-floppy kind of, we'll be coalition partners with anybody, is that you can grab any success.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
But it is funny because he obviously does sort of, you know, he's for the blue-collar battler, and so he does try to say he's for the worker, and like minimum wage is a part of that. But I do remember when he first went into coalition with this government, I went back and looked at the New Zealand First page of like what their priorities were, and at the bottom of the list was like, and we will continue to have discussions about potentially raising the minimum wage. And so it's like, yeah, you don't seem that committed to that one. Just when it suits you, Winston.
Yeah, when it suits you. Yeah. I mean, obviously the Super Gold, I feel like that's his biggest career.
Oh, they've just done so
success.
much for seniors, you know? And like, if you're a senior and you're voting for New Zealand First, I guess you're getting something out of it. So congrats to you. Yeah. I mean, I suppose he's also part of that group now, so he benefits from it as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's just good forward thinking.
Yeah.
That's why they're all taking rights away from children and giving them to seniors.
Yeah.
That's where they're headed.
That's where they're headed. They're like, I can't go back and be a kid.
Yeah.
It's not going to do anything for me.
That's just not how time works. Say what you will about these politicians. They do understand how time works.
They do. They've got watches.
Yeah.
The one I find really interesting is this. He was saying we invested billions into struggling regions with the 2017 Provincial Growth Fund, which they did lead up. It was part of the Labour government, but I think they were in charge of it. And then also the Regional Infrastructure Fund, which is the current one, which seems like they've sort of modified the Provincial Growth Fund under the current government. And I went back and actually looked at this to try and find some information about how successful it had been. And it looks like when it sort of got off the ground, it was doing pretty well. It was like a lot of money that they were talking about.
$242 million.
No, that's only even a portion of it.
Oh, God.
So under the Provincial Growth Fund, there was $2.12 billion paid out to 1,350 projects, and that did create 15,600 jobs, they said. There was also 242 million that was allocated to 143 projects that just like fell through and it didn't work out. Then it looks like what happened is when COVID came around, they did some stuff to redirect some of the money from the Provincial Growth Fund towards COVID funding stuff, about $600 million. So up until that point, it sort of seemed like it had, like, this huge amount of money had gone out into the regions and had created jobs. But then under the current government, it becomes the Regional Infrastructure Fund. It's managed by Shane Jones.
Oh, no.
And in 2026, it turns out that over half of the loaned money is at risk of default and not being paid back. Because the point of the fund is that it gets paid out to businesses to give them growth, a boost, and then it gets paid back to the government, essentially. And so the total amount that the total amount was like 433 million under this new fund, and half of that it looked like wasn't going to come back to the government. And apparently when they spoke to Shane Jones about it, he was just like, I don't see a problem with that.
Oh, God.
And apparently quite a lot of it has gone to his electorate.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
So I couldn't find like loads on this, but that was the stuff that I found about it, and I just found it really hypocritical.
Oh my God.
With all of the like benefit bashing, which actually goes to people who use the money and spend the money.
Yeah.
But it's like, well, but we're okay with just propping up random businesses in the regions.
Yeah.
And I want to say, I have no issue with funding businesses in the regions and stuff like that. But don't be like, oh, well, we can't just spend money on anything. And then you're just handing out billions of dollars to businesses that are never going to pay them back, essentially.
Yeah.
And apparently a lot of these businesses are like running at a loss. And
oh my God.
So yeah, I don't know how much of a success that can be claimed as.
Yes.
Like, it obviously did create some jobs, and that is a success. But it also seems like a massive loss on the government's books, which, given this is meant to be the government of fiscal responsibility.
Yeah. I feel like that's the case with a lot of things where it's like giving money is okay for certain groups
100%.
and not other groups.
100%.
Yeah, like this one particular, is it a steel mill that they're bailing out for $60 million?
Or the cement.
Yes.
It's the cement people. Yeah.
And it's like, sure, that's great for those people, but it's always a bit of a, like, intriguing, like, why did you choose that one to save?
Yeah, well, I think it's just the whole sort of free market perspective that gets put out there, where it's like, well, we can't possibly give money to sustainables and to benefits or whatever, acting as if, like, this is just frivolous giving money away, and also like the government sort of choosing winners and losers. It's like the government chooses winners and losers all the time. It hands out money all the time, and you don't have an issue with the government handing out money. You just have an issue with who is receiving the money.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Damn. Well, some of the other successes that Winston listed, I would say definitely not successes.
Yeah.
We made English an official language.
Yes.
We're blocking trans people from doing stuff.
100%. They also, they were very proud of the fact that they're trying to get a bill in to let ratepayers decide about whether there should be fluoride in the water.
Oh my God.
Who needs teeth?
Who needs teeth?
Who needs them?
Who needs to talk about the current issues of the modern day?
Yeah.
We need to relitigate things that have already
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's sort of linked to also their broader issue with COVID. They're still hanging on to the COVID issue. They want there to be an inquiry into COVID and into particularly people who were injured by the COVID vaccine.
Like, what does that, like, that kind of inquiry is so expensive to run. Or like having this kind of ratepayers voting on fluoride. That would be so expensive to run. And then that amount of money could fund, like, you know, better school lunches. Like that amount of money could fund so many things that are getting funding cut. But it's like, oh no, we have a limitless budget for inquiries.
Yes, into inquiries, into sort of vague, vibey things that we want to look into / maybe distract people with. Yeah.
And the government currently doesn't seem to listen to like submissions on bills or protests or petitions or official advice from inquiries.
No.
So it's just throwing money away.
No. Well, I think unless the inquiry reveals something that they agree with or, you know, So, yeah, that's their record. I'm trying to see if there's anything there that, like, they got free healthcare for children under the age of 14.
I mean, that would be nice.
I think
they've got that.
That exists.
Yeah,
I don't know whether they did that with Labour or they did that recently, but that does exist, and so they claim to be involved with that. That's cool. I don't see anything wrong with that. Well done.
You don't want the kids to go sick.
Well, I suppose it depends on how they're choosing the kids. They're like, are you going to be a blue collar battler one day? Because you get free healthcare. Those lefty pansies over there.
No free healthcare for these children.
There was quite a lot of woke bashing, and a lot about Labour's failures, which again is just hilarious given that half of Labour's time in government was with New Zealand first. Yes. Yeah.
It's been interesting because they have such a history of flip-flopping, and I don't remember them bashing Labour or distancing themselves from Labour so much previously, even when they've been in opposition.
Yeah.
So they're kind of burning that bridge almost. Yeah,
they are.
It's like you would expect them to want to keep that door open a little bit.
Yeah, they're sort of unmaking themselves as the kingmaker.
They are.
Because based on the kind of culture wars stuff, they're putting themselves in a position where they will not partner with Labour, which takes away their ability to be the kingmaker, which means they're really relying on National getting in, basically. Which is interesting with the Opportunity Party coming up, and obviously Christopher Luxon saying that he won't work with the Opportunity Party. Her response I actually found quite interesting, and again, turned my head towards the Opportunity Party a little bit again. She was saying, yes, they've said that they won't work with us. We'll see what happens if they need us when it actually comes to forming a government.
Yeah.
And interestingly, she also said, look, we don't think these things should like be strictly left or right issues. Something which like theoretically I think is an optimistic ideal that I would agree with. And then she said, of course, there are things that if National was bringing to the table with other coalition partners, we wouldn't want to be a part of, which included like large scale investing in mining. If they were pushing forward with the definition of a man and a woman bill, she was like, we're not gonna partner with somebody who's pushing that forward. So I find it quite interesting that she's saying, we will work with you, but it would depend on certain things being off the table, which, again, it sort of raises the question of like, well, does that ever really mean that you're going to be in partnership with them if they can get the votes from ACT and New Zealand First? But also, it does put them in an interesting position if they can't make up the votes with ACT and New Zealand First. They have to go to Opportunity, and then Opportunity does actually have some bargaining power.
They have some bargaining power, yeah. I mean, I guess that's what's happened with this coalition, is that there's a lot of stuff that they're doing that National would not have been probably wanting to do or prioritizing.
And also stuff that National wasn't able to bring in because Winston Peters said he didn't want to, like the foreign buyers stuff and everything. So I do think, yeah, I think they are putting themselves in an interesting place.
They've got some opportunities.
They also apparently one of the like Talbot Mills poll or something, I probably misremembered that. They said that they'd actually done some analysis now since we last spoke about them, about who the people who are saying they're going to vote for opportunity are, and the majority of their voters were national voters.
Wow.
Yeah, and apparently from what the Opportunity Party is hearing, a lot of it is national voters who are unhappy with the environmental bills that have been passed and so are being turned to opportunity. So maybe they will actually succeed at the strategy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because, I mean, if you're like a smart business person who is not having your vision clouded by this kind of like dogmatic ideology, I think it's the smart business move to invest in like more environmentally friendly stuff.
Yes, exactly.
If there is no planet, there's nowhere to have your business. Like,
yeah, actually on that there's been an excellent episode about AI on the Jon Stewart podcast with a guy called Corey. I've forgotten his last name, but I recommend listening to it. But one of the things he referenced in it was all this talk about going and living on Mars. He was like, scientists have basically said, if you like atom bomb the Earth, like with all of the like missiles and nukes that we have combined at the same time with the meteor that like made the dinosaurs extinct, the Earth would still be more inhabitable than Mars because it has like water and atmosphere and gravity, which are all things that Mars does not have and will never have. So the idea that anybody is going to live on Mars when our planet fails is just complete idiocy.
oh my god.
So
that's honestly great to hear. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So yeah, you can't have your business without a planet, and you probably can't have it on Mars either.
Can't have it on
as
Mars.
much as you'd like to.
Not even one Matt Damon could live there. You know?
Yeah.
Imagine the world is full of billions of Matt Damons.
Yes.
We can't all go there.
We can't all go there, no.
My God.
So it is really interesting that they're sort of breaking themselves off, potentially excluding themselves from this kingmaker position.
It's really interesting.
Yeah.
Well, hey, is that enough about New Zealand First?
I think it is.
Well, it's enough about the New Zealand First Convention.
Yes.
Should we talk a bit about all this bad behaviour?
Oh my God, if we have to.
Yeah, I mean, should we start by talking about Winston, seeing as we're already talking about...
Yeah, let's go for
first.
Winston first, even though I sort of find all of them, this one, just like the most depressing. I also find it funny that last week when we were talking about satirical parties and I was like, my party but will be the one that like highlights how they're being racist. And then it's like, don't need to do that. Winston's just up front and center.
He listened to the episode and he was like, I will not be followed around by some woman. I will not give in to Izzy Renton's imaginary political party. Listen to the previous episode if you don't know what we're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. No, I will just be openly racist.
Yeah. So they were in the Beehive.
Yeah.
They were debating. They were talking about COVID stuff. And a Green MP, Lawrence, who is originally from China but has lived in New Zealand for over 20 years.
Yes.
He called out to Winston to ask, are you vaccinated, during Winston's talking? And Winston's reply was to tell him to go back to your own country.
Go back to your own country.
Yeah.
He then proceeded to do some insults about China, some insults about their political system, about how they don't understand what democracy is, which was what sort of aggravated the Chinese ambassador.
Yeah. Just general stuff that you don't expect the foreign minister of a country to do.
Yeah. I also find it really interesting because a lot of these right-wing parties, they sort of get their power from talking about policy that's going to have very racialized structural impacts without being like too explicitly racist. Like they'll be racist about immigrants who aren't yet citizens, but they'll be like, but no, we accept all people who have become citizens. And as a result, the reason that they do that is so that they can say to sort of white people who agree with their policy and are unhappy about demographic change, like, you're not racist. The people who are calling you racist are actually being racist towards you and discriminating against you. And so usually, like, they at least try to sort of tread a particular line. And, like, interestingly, Trump put up a post where he compared the Obamas to gorillas.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
God.
And that is one of the only posts that he has actually removed after he put it up. Because it's very hard to say, you're not racist. People are just being mean to you.
When you're being really classically racist.
When you're being really classically racist.
Yeah.
So I'm amazed that that they've just been so upfront about it, where it's like, if you're not a sort of white, or like, I presume he'd include Māori. I presume he'd include Māori as well.
It's people who should go back to their own country.
Those are people who belong here.
I don't know, eh?
Yeah.
Like, he's such a...
I think he would still try to say they don't understand democracy.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you know, it's like, if you don't look a particular way, you don't belong here.
You don't belong
basically.
here. Yeah.
Which is just explicit racism.
It is. Yeah. So I was reading, the spin-off had an article where they had asked 5 like political figures what you would do if you were Christopher Luxon and Winston Peters had just done this.
Oh,
Yeah, I
interesting.
really recommend it. Yeah. Helen Clark was like, well, it was a bit like, there's not really anything that you can do other than what he's done.
Yeah.
Because, you know, Winston Peters just shouldn't be behaving that way in the position that he's in.
No.
Yeah. I think, like, so much of politics nowadays is this kind of, this Donald Trumpian, like, pettiness and insults and, like not the way that you would usually conduct yourself in a professional environment. And it can mean that, like, you're not thinking about, your words have wider implications. Like, there are trade agreements, there are international relations, there are people that you, like, I feel like sucking up to people used to be more of a thing, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I think, so I would say Parliament, and certainly the Westminster model of Parliament from the UK, has always involved a certain amount of, like, heckling and rudeness and calling each other out, and this kind of like ha 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 amongst peers.
Yeah,
we can say what we want to each other. That's actually a long-standing tradition.
Yeah.
And I'm sure throughout the years it's also involved lots of like racism and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think in like the 1800s in the UK Parliament there were 2 MPs who got into a brawl and killed each other over a woman.
What?
Yeah.
In the House of Parliament?
Yeah.
No.
So, I mean, I double check it, but I've definitely read something to that tone. So that's the first thing I would say about Parliament. The second thing I would say is, in relation to the like wider consequences of the international relations, I think there's this interesting thing going on at the moment that is very Trumpian, where it's like, Trump will do a lot of insulting people from other countries, but being like, but we get along, which is kind of how Christopher Luxon responded. He was like, oh, don't worry about that. They're always spatting, but like it works out fine in the end.
Yeah.
And I think there's this sense with some politicians at the moment where it's, I can say whatever I like, but as long as I caveat at the end, which to be fair, Winston Peters didn't do, but as long as I caveat at the end that it's like, but we get on, you know, whatever, then like that kind of makes it okay. And I think it also probably plays into this like, people wanting more authenticity from their politicians. And people read that as authentic because it's like, yeah, we hate people, but like, it doesn't mean we hate them.
I'm just like your uncle and I'll say whatever. Oh, but I don't believe in anything crazy.
Yeah, exactly. And also like, I'm a tough guy. I'm going to be mean about people, but like, they get it.
Yeah. We're just shooting the shit out here.
Yeah. For any listeners who can't see us, Rebecca and I are doing some,
oh my God, we're fighting big time.
Manly pushing and shoving of each other.
Pushing and shoving. Yeah. Well, speaking of being manly.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had some more insults.
Yes. Where somebody actually got ejected as a result of it.
Yes.
Yeah. So Stuart Nash, who was previously a Labour MP and then came back for New Zealand First in this election and was contending for the Napier electorate, called the national MP and his opponent lazy for taking time away from Parliament to have a baby. Katie Nyman, I think. Nyman or Niman? It turns out that Katie Nyman had taken 10 weeks off and then had returned part-time to her electorate work before returning to Parliament after 6 months away.
So she didn't even take the full maternity leave.
She didn't even take the full maternity leave.
And even if she had, obviously not lazy.
Yeah, not lazy. Raising a whole nother human. And looking back at Stuart Nash's record, he's done some crazy stuff before.
Yeah.
He tried to sort of, when he was a Labour MP, he was the Justice Minister, and he tried to call the police commissioner to sort of get him to change a decision, try and appeal a decision that had been made in the courts, which is not really like separation of powers or the way that justice is meant to work.
No. And he was sacked from Labour for emailing like insider information to business people
from the cabinet, and like the number one rule of being in the cabinet is that you do not discuss what has been said in cabinet outside of cabinet. And he sent information about some sort of some policies that were being made in relation to business to some of his donors.
Yeah. And then of course he has a great definition of what a woman is. I love this story. I love this story for his how it ended, which is he said, so when he was considering joining New Zealand First, he was asked what the definition of a woman was, and he said, a woman is a person with a pussy and a pair of tits. Gotta have two of them.
Gotta have two of them. One won't do.
One won't do.
And then my favourite thing about it is that he'd made it on a radio station, I think.
Yeah.
And so he phoned back later to say that he'd spoken to his wife and reflected on what he'd said and wished he hadn't made the comment. And so then he went and posted an apology on LinkedIn.
Oh my gosh.
Which I just love the idea of him going back to his wife and her being like, Stuart,
you've done it again.
Stuart.
Yes. Did she also tell him that he shouldn't have said, was that also his reasoning with Katie Niman? I think he also said, his wife told him that he shouldn't have said that.
Potentially.
His wife is a recurring figure.
I know. I mean, I do, because I often wonder of the wives of these people who can spout quite sexist stuff. Like, I often wonder about JD Vance's wife.
She looks like a hostage, like she's being held hostage. She never looks like she's having a good time.
No, she doesn't. And there was something I saw her where she was like sitting with Trump as he was like slagging people off, and she was just sat there like, and it was just like, what is going on in your head at the moment to distract you from this and make you just okay in the situation?
Yeah.
Are you okay?
Is she okay? Is she on a lot of anxiety medication?
So I like the fact that at least Stuart Nash's wife is talking up.
Yeah, she's actively involved.
She's like, now Stuart, there is a line.
There is a line.
And it's pussy and tits.
It's pussy and tits. Yeah, we've discussed this at home. Oh, man. And then there's one more person who's been behaving badly, isn't there? Shane Jones.
Shane Jones, he had the thing where he accused all the other MPs of getting out the knee pads for Modi.
Oh, yep. The Indian Prime Minister.
Yeah. And then when people said, are you suggesting that they're giving him blowjobs? He was like, no. It's about bowing. It's about bowing down. Which makes me think,
what kind of bowing is that?
Well, I was like, if you ever get invited to do a karate match against Shane Jones, that's going to start weirdly. You're going to be in for a surprise before you've even started. And now is the bowing portion. It's the knee pads out of the cupboard. Oh, no. Lucky those karate outfits are easy access.
That's why they like that. Yeah. People will say, why is a gi like that? That's why. That's why.
Is it a gi? Is that the official name?
That's the name, yeah.
Rebecca is a karate aficionado.
I was as a child an aficionado.
It's more of an aficionado than I am.
I did get a brown belt in karate when I was 13.
Very cool.
And have not done much karate since that time.
Once you got your brown belt, that's
I
it.
did. Once you get the brown belt, you have to start fighting each other. And that just seemed really intense. Yeah.
Yeah, and so that was when Rebecca vowed
I was like, I can't be with this. I'm a pacifist. I'll listen to the Beatles.
I'm getting my knee pads and I'm bowing
Getting
out.
my knee pads. I'm just here for the start.
Yeah.
So that was pretty crazy.
Oh, and then Paul Henry was shoot, shag, marry.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
They've all just been going for it this past week.
They really have. And like, obviously the uproar against him playing shoot, shag, marry was that he might be sort of inciting political violence against politicians because he said that he would shoot
He
Chris
did
Hipkins.
say he would shoot Chris Hipkins.
Which, to be fair, I have never played this game as shoot, shag, marry.
We were talking about this earlier. It's usually just kill.
Yes.
Which is so much more peaceful somehow.
Somehow it's less suggestive.
It is.
It's just like, kill, but you've got to figure out how.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it keeps it more in the realm of like a nonsense rhetorical question.
Yes.
To say shoot, it's like one step further towards actually doing it.
Yeah, it's more targeted, literally.
It is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So, yeah, once we pointed that out, I was like, that is why it feels more violent, I think.
Yeah. And then meanwhile, amongst all of this, the Law Commission has been reviewing. There's been a continuous discussion about what to do about hate crimes since the Christchurch shooting.
Yeah.
And the Law Commission has been sort of releasing advice on how well the law is dealing with hate crimes. And they basically said that the current system is okay, which is that hate crimes themselves, like hate speech itself isn't a crime, but if you assault somebody and you say things during it that make it seem like it's motivated by hate against a particular group, it means that your sentencing can be longer, basically. But there's a debate about whether hate speech and also like assaults on the basis of hate should sort of be their own specific crime.
Yeah. And as you would expect, the Free Speech Union doesn't want more regulation about that.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
And the Federation of Islamic Associations would like more protections. So all the people who are affected by hate speech would love more protection, and the people who are not affected by it think everything is fine.
Yeah, I think the really interesting thing is like, would Winston Peters have committed a hate crime based on his speech?
Yeah.
Which, I mean,
have you got it in here?
Yeah, the Islamic group said that so they say, you know, the litmus test would be if you're describing group members as animals, subhuman, or genetically inferior, which I don't think he did, technically. It says, suggesting group members are behind a conspiracy to gain control by plotting to destroy Western civilization, which, again, I don't think he fully did, so he's safe on that account. The next one is denying, minimizing, or celebrating past persecution or tragedies that happened to other group members. Didn't do that. Labeling group members as child abusers, pedophiles, or criminals who prey on children. Didn't do that. Blaming group members for problems like crime and disease. Didn't do that. Calling group members liars, cheats, criminals, or any other term meant to provoke a strong reaction.
Well, that he did, because he was saying that in China they all lie like flatfish. So maybe you'd get him with that last one.
Maybe you would.
Yeah.
I mean, I suppose what I was pointing out, or trying to point out, was that for the people who were worried that, like, this just means people would be being put away for like everything they said. Actually, it's still quite a high bar.
This is quite a high bar, you're right. Because what he said was like stirred up a big controversy, but does not really meet any of these
those standards
requirements.
Yeah, and I feel like often the people who are against hate, who are against criminalizing hate speech, are like, oh no, but people are just going to get put away when they haven't even meant to be racist.
Yeah.
And
we can't let the everyday racists go to jail. Only the really serious racists. Yeah. No, and you're right. Like, this is quite, it has to be quite intense to actually meet the standards.
Yeah. I think sort of one of the biggest reasons, because, you know, I would say like, I understand why the Law Commission is saying the law and the way that it works is enough, because it's like, if you're assaulting somebody and then it's motivated by hate, that's like an aggravated offense, essentially, which gets you more time. I think where criminalizing hate speech would be useful is for online regulation, basically.
Oh, yeah.
Because
is the Law Commission saying that it's enough, or is the Law Commission saying it needs to be stronger? That's what I was thinking.
It's saying the legislation that exists is enough, but we just need to make sure that it's being applied and is strengthened, rather than creating the separate crime for hate crimes.
Right. You're right. Online bullying and online harassment.
Yeah. Because there's obviously a lot of evidence to show that, when you have hate crime more prevalent online, it does flow on to creating more assaults and stuff in person.
Yes.
I think it comes back to all crime, making something punishable and criminalizable doesn't really stop people from doing it.
Maybe most of it just is online.
Yeah.
People just in general say way worse stuff online.
Yeah, I mean,
than they
obviously
would
a
in
lot
person.
of hate speech happens in person as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, certainly at Destiny Church it does. Yeah. I would love it if they could just lock Brian Tamaki up. I would love that. Oh my gosh. When they kidnapped all of his guns.
Well, I also just
that was
feel
a relief.
He's getting worse and worse and worse, I feel like.
He is.
As he gets pushed more out to the fringes, he just goes, which I think is a thing that happens. He just goes more and more extreme. Yeah.
Well, him, I think that's a thing that's clearly hate speech, is him saying that we need to purge Muslims and Hindus from New Zealand. That is hate speech.
Yeah.
This is a group and I'm inciting violence towards them.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go. Some examples are quite clear cut.
Some examples are quite clear cut.
Thank you, Brian, for once again serving the community. A paradigm of outright racism.
But I do think it is interesting that you go through that list and actually probably Winston Peters would still get away with what he'd said.
He would get away with a lot of stuff, yeah.
Even though
Be careful.
Politicians and even more so than just lay people around the place doing hate speech to each other, politicians are the ones that really influence people's behavior and what they think is appropriate. Yeah,
that's true, and they're setting what is allowed.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Well, you know what, Izzy? All of this racism talk has been a bit of a bummer.
Yeah, it's been a bummer.
Yeah, it's been a real bummer. I would love to know what good things are happening.
Yes.
Yeah. Should we do some good news?
Yeah, we'll do some good news.
Let's do some good news. Okay, good news. So this is very recent. This is just yesterday. The greyhound racing ban in New Zealand has come into effect. So they're not allowed to race anymore.
Nope.
And 1,400 greyhounds are now being rehoused by the Greyhound Racing Transition Agency.
Yeah.
They have their own government body. And 150 of them are even being flown to Australia, where they mostly already have found families for them.
Yeah.
So nice.
That's so nice.
Yeah.
Also, they're part of the general migration to Australia.
They are! Even the dogs can get a better life in Australia. Solar energy is on the rise. In the EU this summer, it has made up 25% of their energy production.
Yeah, and that's not even always a sunny place.
I know.
Yeah.
And also just in New Zealand, it looks like no matter who gets in the next election, there's going to be some solar power policies coming through, which is nice.
Yeah, getting some bipartisan agreement on that.
Yes, finally something we can agree on.
Yes.
The sun.
Praise me.
We couldn't ignore that big ball in the sky any longer. Yeah.
Zora Mamdani exists.
He exists. And we just hold on to that little man.
Yeah.
Well, hey, there's been a lot of stuff happening these next 2 weeks. I bet more stuff is going to happen. I think we'll probably have to do another episode. Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, let's meet again in a fortnight.
Yeah. Also, we haven't even spoken about the Greens annual general meeting.
We haven't. We'll have to do that next time.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah.
Yeah, we will.
We'll do that.
Cool.
Yeah. Hey, everyone, look after yourself. Look after each other.
Yeah.
And as we always say, don't let the door hit you on your way out.
bass kick.